We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Joe Rogan leaned forward, his hands clasped together, his eyes glassy with emotion. For once, the man known for being fearless, blunt, and unshakable was fighting back tears. He had just gone through documents and testimonies about Diddy's connection to Justin Bieber's teenage years, and the weight of what he read broke
So many
him.
horrific accusations, though, involving young singers, like children.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's insane.
He makes R. Kelly look like a decent guy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It is crazy. And meanwhile, the guy was like hanging out with Oprah.
This one hurts, Joe whispered into the mic, his voice cracking. It hurts because Justin wasn't just a star, he was a kid. And the fact that Diddy had that kind of control over him, man, it's devastating. Joe Rogan wasn't sad because of headlines or gossip. He was sad because of the human story behind the headlines. He thought about Justin at 15, just a boy from Canada who wanted to sing, who dreamed of music, who got discovered online, a boy whose dream should have been a blessing, but instead turned into a nightmare once Diddy stepped into the picture. The image haunted Rogan, a teenager trusting a man who claimed to be a mentor, only to be pulled into a world of manipulation, pressure, and control. Rogan shook his head as he spoke, his voice trembling. That's not mentorship. That's betrayal. And Justin never should have gone through it.
You ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose.
Oh, how do you not be crazy? And good luck when you're older. You know, Justin Bieber had a post the other day on his Instagram talking about all the drugs that he did when he was younger and how much it fucked him up. And now he's got a relationship with the Lord, and he's got, you know, he's married, and he's trying to be a normal person.
Yeah.
But he's struggling with the fact that he was insanely famous when he was a kid.
Yeah.
For Rogan, the sadness went deeper than just Bieber's story. It was about the entire industry. He reminded his audience that Diddy had been celebrated for years as a mogul, a kingmaker. People called him a legend. But behind the smiles and the glamorous lifestyle was something much darker. Joe pointed to the lawsuits, the testimonies, the court filings. They painted a picture of a man who abused his influence, a man who preyed on trust and left scars that never fully healed. And at the center of those scars stood Justin Bieber. Joe described the moments in Bieber's career that never made sense until now. The sudden breakdowns, the public meltdowns, the times Justin looked lost on stage or exhausted in interviews.
We had seen these videos of Justin Bieber being handed over to him at age 15. Great job. Great job. And for his weekend with Diddy camp. I mean, we don't know, but it certainly looks like Justin Bieber is still suffering the fallout from whatever happened to him as he was coming up the ranks of the music world. It really doesn't seem worth it. I mean, I'd love to hear more from his camp about what's real, because it's clear he's suffering. We just don't know from what. And what mother out there would give her 15-year-old boy over to a grown man who's in the rap industry for a weekend with Diddy camp without other adult supervision?
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything?
Yeah,
Starting to act different, huh?
No,
you ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Right, okay.
My number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
Because I think if a victim comes out against Usher, it'll show how egregious it is. Because if he can be a predator, then anybody can be a predator.
Can't smile in your face the whole time.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, people look at Usher, they don't see that. They're not seeing the victim. They're not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that.
The sadness in Joe's voice deepened as he explained how Bieber carried that trauma into his adult life. He talked about Justin's struggle to find peace, about how he turned to faith, marriage, and music to rebuild himself. But even with those steps, the scars remained. Rogan's voice broke again. That's the part that makes me want to cry. Justin survived. He fought through it. But he never should have had to fight in the first place. Rogan's audience sat stunned, not used to seeing him like this. His words weren't just analysis, they were confessions of grief. He compared what Bieber endured to what no parent would ever want for their child. I think about my daughters, Rogan admitted, and I can't imagine trusting someone powerful to guide them only to find out that person destroyed their innocence. That's exactly what happened to Justin, and it kills me.
Say this about Justin Bieber. When people hear about him going insane, like, of course he's going insane. You have no idea what it would be like to be him and to be 17 years old. And girls literally trying to break into his house. They're coming down chimneys. They're flying in on parachutes. They're doing anything they can. They just want to be around him. You want him to be normal?
Oh, man, poor guy.
What's going on with you guys? Are you working together?
I'm not. I mean, I think that we become friends in a strange way, you know?
Like Robin Big.
Yeah, it's like... Exactly.
I'm big and you're Rob.
Yeah. No, I mean, to a lot of us, he's like a little brother. You know what I'm saying? He's not afraid to call and ask for advice. He's somebody that, in the industry-wise, the record industry is a strong family, and he's somebody that, you know, we definitely have our arms around, and we want to protect him because he's such genuinely a nice person besides his talent. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the greatest kids that you could ever know.
The episode unfolded like a slow, painful unraveling. Rogan detailed how Diddy's reach in the music world had kept people silent. Executives, managers, and insiders who should have protected Bieber instead stayed quiet, too scared to challenge Diddy's power. Everyone failed Justin, Rogan said, wiping his eyes. Everyone who could have stepped in didn't. And that failure is unforgivable. As the tears welled in his eyes, Joe reflected on how long it took for the truth to finally come out. Years had gone by with Bieber carrying the weight alone. Years of him being mocked by the public for behavior that now made perfect sense. He was just a kid crying out for help, Joe whispered, and nobody listened. Nobody wanted to see it, because Diddy was untouchable back then.
Anyways, I want to also just show you this montage. This is a montage that was shared by Evie Magazine. They do great work on their TikTok of Justin Bieber, again, just 15 years old, in Hollywood, surrounded by a bunch of adults. And you let me know if any of this registers to you as normal. Take a listen.
Wow. I feel violated right now. Wow. Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. Like that was bad.
Yeah.
Wow, look at your eyes. Look at what a beautiful face. All right, now it's time to...
Moved to New York City. And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s. Do you understand what that's like?
The more Rogan spoke, the heavier the sadness became. He painted a picture of a young star trapped in a cage built by fame, power, and manipulation. He described how Bieber had to grow up too fast, learning harsh lessons that no 15-year-old should ever face. And at every turn, Diddy's name appeared in the story like a shadow that never left. But Rogan wasn't just sad, he was heartbroken. He said Justin's story should stand as a warning, not just to fans, but to the industry itself. If we don't hold people accountable, if we let power protect the wrong men, then this will keep happening. Another kid will go through the same thing, and I can't sit here and watch that happen again. By the end, Rogan left his audience with one final tear-stained truth. Diddy will never be remembered as a legend. Not after this. He'll be remembered as the man who destroyed trust, who destroyed lives, who left scars on kids like Justin, and that's a legacy he can never escape. The mics went silent, the episode ended, but the sadness hung in the air. For once, Joe Rogan wasn't the man delivering laughs or heated debates. He was the man holding back tears, mourning a kid who deserved better. And for his millions of listeners, that sadness turned into clarity. Diddy's empire was built on lies, and Justin Bieber's pain was proof of it.
The you of then was on a path of self-destruction.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would have, for sure, 100%. Yeah. It would have been no bueno. It was bad. I don't know if I'd be alive, for sure. It was dark. So I'm very, very grateful to have influences in my life that have played a huge part in me seeing their relationship with Jesus and their relationship with their wives and their relationship with their kids and saying that's what I want. But I want to definitely tell my story so that if that resonates to anybody, that they can hopefully, but yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters and
If so, bump somebody. All right, thanks. I love you, man. I got my MTV out. Savage! I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get!
months ago, I was really struggling mentally and emotionally, and just there was so many things that were adding up, and I wasn't able to enjoy any of the things that I owned.
That stuff's not gonna matter to you.
None of the actual things did anything because I was so hurt and I was so confused and I was so sick, and there was all these things, and I was like, I can't, there's like, you just can't, like you said, you can't enjoy the actual physical, tangible, like, things.
I mean, everybody hung with Diddy. That's the other tricky thing. Like, Diddy hung out with everybody. And I've spoken to a bunch of people who are like, yo, great dude, like, always there for you, never asked for a single thing.
Till 1 a.m.
And then freak off.
Everybody says, get out of the house.
Yeah.
It's like the gremlins start eating after midnight. Everybody who tells the stories like, I saw I go upstairs and these dudes are fucking like right on the couch.
Yeah.
And then I go in this room and these guys are fucking, and it's like,
and pros. Like, apparently he was getting male gigolos to fuck girls.
Girls?
Yeah, that was one of the rumors, like the
Male
freak off. So he would
gigolos.
hire the professional dicks to have sex with the girls. And I think he would watch, allegedly. That's what was alleged, I think.
And after the podcast aired, the impact was immediate. Clips of Rogan's trembling voice and tear-filled eyes spread across social media like wildfire. Fans who had once dismissed Justin's struggles as celebrity drama began to view them through an entirely different lens. Suddenly, the stories of Bieber's exhaustion, his breakdowns, and his desperate attempts to escape the spotlight didn't look like tantrums. They looked like evidence of trauma. Rogan's heartbreak had forced millions to see Justin not as a spoiled star, but as a survivor. And with that shift in perception came a tidal wave of questions. Why did it take so long for this to come to light? How many people in the industry knew the truth and stayed silent? Rogan's sadness had cracked the dam, and behind it came anger, not just at Diddy, but at an entire machine that let a boy be consumed for profit. The fact that Rogan, a man who had no reason to defend Bieber, was brought to tears made the story impossible to ignore. It was no longer gossip, it was reality. For Justin, Rogan's words felt like vindication. For years, he had carried the weight of ridicule from the public, the press, even fellow celebrities. He had been branded as unstable, wild, or entitled. But now, with Rogan laying out the truth in such raw terms, the narrative was shifting. People finally began to understand that behind every meltdown was a kid trying to escape Diddy's grip. Rogan's grief became the bridge between Bieber's past pain and the world's new perspective. The fallout for Diddy was brutal. Sponsors who had stayed neutral began backing away. Music platforms quietly removed his face from playlists. Industry insiders, once loyal, started whispering that his time was over. Rogan's sadness had turned into a cultural megaphone, amplifying Bieber's pain until it drowned out Diddy's carefully polished reputation. And the more people replayed Rogan's words, the more obvious it became that Diddy's empire was crumbling, not from lawsuits alone, but from the collapse of public trust. Joe Rogan never intended to lead a movement. He was simply reacting human to human to a story that broke his heart. But in doing so, he gave Bieber something he had been denied for years: compassion. And in that moment, the tears Rogan shed weren't just his. They belonged to every fan who finally saw Justin not as a headline, but as a human being who deserved better.